What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 170 are open. This week on the show, we're talking about Kadabra, coming back to the Pokemon TCG, and a little bit more than that. Not a huge week, but to talk all about that is my best mate. It's Bryce DeWitt.
Hi.
How you going, man?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, sorry about that delay drawback there. I had to, vibe there for a minute.
You were so close to the drop, you just couldn't let it go.
No, I had to vibe there for a minute.
That's just the inner DJ inside of you.
Yeah, if there was one that ever existed.
Yeah, I don't know if there is. You never got into DJ Hero, did you?
No.
Was it something you were interested in, or
Absolutely
you're all about that
not.
guitar?
Yeah, it was all about that guitar.
So DJ Hero, looking back on it, I'm like, that would have actually been pretty fun, but I've already spent that much money on probably multiple guitars by that point. I got the world tour thing with like the drums and all that in it. I'm like, I'm not getting more of this stuff.
The full kit. Yeah. Nah, no point.
No point.
0 point, mate. Just don't do yourself the disservice.
No.
Bad idea.
So I guess it's been a very, very quiet week in the world of Nintendo, but we've been sort of just catching up, and we actually got a bit of a chance to just chill out before the show and playing some games on Xbox, showing Bryce how a few games run on the Series X, and Bryce is like, well, they load quickly.
They load fast, and I want mine to get here, which should be tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to a big week with the 4K TV coming in.
Oh yeah,
new Series X.
Really
embrace that new generation of gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we needed a new TV anyway, so it's sort of like, we've had this one for about, I think, 5 years, and it's not dead yet. Like, it's still operational, but unfortunately, since we've had that TV, like the moment we got it, the buttons on the back don't work. So everything has to be remoted, and to be completely honest with you, the remote is a piece of trash, so it makes things extremely hard. So
mine doesn't even have buttons on the actual TV itself, so it's always remote anyway.
And I mean, I think my new one's going to be the same too, but it also comes with a quick remote and a standard remote. So at least I'll have two remotes kicking around in case something goes
that's
wrong.
the future, two remotes.
Yeah, so one's got, it's like oversimplified, and it's basically just for quick navigating menus and stuff like that. But then you've got one that's got like all your numbers on it and your Netflix button and like all that stuff. So at least, if Arthur manages to run away with one of them, we're like, well, there's the backup remote in the cabinet, we'll just use that. So
yeah. See, my backup one, because I've got a Sony TV and I mostly watch my stuff off my PlayStation 4 anyway, so the PlayStation turns on and the TV turns on. But like sometimes I want to change the volume and cannot find the remote, but I've still got the Wii U gamepad sitting there, so that's my backup remote, just like the gamepad.
Yes, Wii U gamepad. The MVP.
It's the MVP.
MVP.
That's honestly like my favourite thing it does. Apart from
some decent software.
But I really do enjoy that feature.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we've got some more serious sort of topics, well, not topics, but things just to bring up before we get into the show. So in our local area here in South Australia, there was a very, very serious car crash that resulted in 3 deaths of local friends and people we know. It's really deeply affected our community, and the two of us just want to put our condolences and that to the family. Not that we've got very many local listeners or anything.
Yep. Yeah. I think we both agreed just to not throw the names out there.
Of course,
obviously, it's quite sad and quite tragic. And I knew these people working in bar work, and I would see them quite often, and I was very, very, very fond of them. They were lovely people, all three, and it's hit the community quite hard because they had sort of quite the status here as sort of a family name, I guess. And there are a lot of people hurting at the moment. And if anybody local does listen to this podcast, I guess, then you'll more than likely know who we're talking about. But, it was an unfortunate circumstance accident. It's very hard to find anyone to blame for the situation, which, you can't really do at the same time. A car accident is a car accident, and these things do happen. But if there's anything to take away from it, it's, be responsible and be safe on the road. You never know who's coming in the opposite direction. So, yeah, I guess with all our condolences to the family, we hope that you can recover from this. It'll always hurt. And we're definitely sort of feeling for you guys, not just us, but the whole community is in our area. So, yes,
definitely, and well said. Yeah,
thank you.
And the other one is this is, I guess, a bit more of the content creation or Nintendo community that we've got here on the internet. But Bobby Paul's one of my favourite people on the internet. The first time I reached out to him was because I really enjoyed his content and I wanted an excuse to talk to him. So I said, hey, come on my podcast. And he was more than happy to come on, and he came on like within an hour or so of sending him an email. And since then, over the last year or so, we've become really great friends and that. And the news sort of came out from his family and that, but he's got coronavirus and he's been really struggling in hospital for about 3 weeks or so. And he's got a GoFundMe page and all that. So I'll leave all these links in the show notes, but I just want to say, a shout out to Bobby. He's an absolute champion. He does awesome content. And I just want to put his name out there for you guys. If you haven't heard of him, if you're not following him, go and check him out on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all that, because he was absolutely killing it before all this happened. He was aiming to be partner on Twitch, and he had the required amount of things to get that partnership if he was so selected by the Twitch overlords.
Yeah.
So I just want to put it out there. Anyone who's listening to this, go and follow him. So when he comes back, he can continue killing it.
Get well, Bobby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine what it's like being in hospital with that right now.
Yeah.
It would be absolutely awful, especially considering, the situation in the US at the moment regarding it is quite severe.
Yeah. And, we've been quite lucky down here. Like,
I
can't say I know any of my close family who have, caught it.
I'm very surprised we are as lucky as we were, considering, we have a lot of trade with China and stuff like that. Well, not right now regarding political situations, but we won't go into that. But at the time, obviously Asian countries, including China, they were a big part of the export we have and stuff like that. So I'm quite surprised we didn't get it worse than what we had, to be honest. I think, Australians really, really bucked up and did their best to keep it at bay. And, we got a bit of a victory stance from Melbourne. They did a fantastic job in the end and pulled through. And they survived through, egregious lockdown and made it through. And yeah, I guess that's just, just shows how vigilant we were in trying to beat this thing, and we managed to do it, and we got lucky on the circumstance.
Yeah. So our heart goes out to Bobby and all of you guys out there who are listening to this, who got your own struggles and tribulations due to this bullshit. We're almost out of 2020, so hopefully 2021 is, the start of healing again.
Yeah, well said.
All right, so let's talk about some Nintendo, Bryce.
All right, mate.
So should we just jump straight into the news? Get through. So then we've got to something to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
Alrighty.
Woohoo! Yeah! Is that all?
I brawl for my comrades.
My friends.
I said it a long time. That's fine. I missed my cue because my brain's just not here this week, is it?
Obviously not. What happened last week? You just looks like you fell out a barn, That's what it sounded like when you tried doing it last time.
Yeah, yeah. It's just been a weird lead up to Christmas, really, and I guess my brain hasn't been there. I miss my sound cue completely. Like, God, I'm losing it.
Anyway, so this is a bit of a random story, but sort of came out of nowhere, and I didn't actually know about this before it sort of got reversed. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is from thegamer.com, and Uri Geller gives Nintendo permission to print Kadabra on Pokemon cards again.
Oh, this is so stupid. I can't believe it lasted 20 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. So the article reads, Kadabra's 20-year-old disappearing act is over thanks to a change of heart from illusionist Uri Geller. The famed magician has apparently gotten a lot of emails on the subject, leading him to reach out to Nintendo to retract a ban he requested on Kadabra Pokémon cards. The gamer was originally dug up into the topic of why Kadabra hadn't been on a Pokemon trading card in almost 20 years. The Psychic-type Pokemon appeared in the official card game's first set alongside the rest of its evolution line, Kadabra and Alakazam. It returned to other sets in different forms, such as Dark Kadabra of Team Rocket or Gym Leader Sabrina's Kadabra. However, there was a bit of a problem with its appearance and Japanese name. Youngero, that name's read very close to Uri Younger. Geller, sorry. And its trademark spoon calls to the mind Geller's famous spoon bending. The reference was not lost on Geller, nor was the fact that Game Freaks designed a Pokemon based on him without asking or even notifying. He sued Nintendo in 2000 and also asked that Kadabra could no longer be put on Pokemon cards. The Pokemon company as honoured as this request all these years. However, the story behind Kadabra ban getting recent attention, Geller decided to reach out to Nintendo and give the okay. In an email to the gamer, Geller wrote that, quote, due to tremendous volume of emails, I am getting begging me to allow Nintendo to bring back Kadabra. A letter to the chairman of Nintendo giving permission to relaunch Uri Geller Kadabra worldwide, end quote. He then said that his letter was picked up by 2 Nintendo representatives. The gamer reached out for further comment and is awaiting a response. The Pokemon TCG is a long established a pattern of letting Kadabra skip Kadabra and evolve straight into Alakazam, or just giving Alakazam a premium card that can be played outright. Now that Kadabra is back on the menu, it'll be interesting to see where it fits. So that's the end of the article there, Bryce. So first of all, I never knew that there was this sort of legal thing to keep Kadabra off of Pokemon cards. Back in the day, I guess Uri just felt like, it's too much like me, it's based off me, don't want it. But it is kind of funny that it was just banned from Pokemon cards. And like he didn't take it further and try to get it banned from the game or removed from the anime or whatever have you. It's just a sort of a random thing.
It was such a pointless act of bullshit. Honestly, like the thing is when you look at it from the perspective, it's like, oh, okay, so his signature thing was spoon bending. It's like, okay, cool. Did it really say that he was the one that invented spoon bending? Or that it wasn't just a thing, and the only reason it was popularized because of him, sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't something before either. So he's kept up this farce all these years just because he didn't want Kadabra printed on Pokemon cards, completely fucking ruining like an entire thing for his own sanity, I guess, somehow.
It also makes me wonder, like, back in the day, where it's just like, this is a stupid thing, I don't want my face on this, but now, obviously, Pokemon, 20 years later, it's big, it's massive, and having one of the original Pokemon sort of as a tribute to you, it's actually, like, I would say as a good thing. If someone's going to design a Pokemon off of me, and having, like, one of the biggest franchises in the world, I'll take that as a very nice compliment.
Would anybody remember this man if it weren't for that fiasco?
I never heard of him in my life.
I heard about it because I was, it come up in a random fact thing. It's like, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But that's it. That's how I know him. And I think that's how most people today know him, is that dickhead who... And you know what? The thing is even worse, his statement on the matter is he referred to it as the Uri Geller Kadabra Pokémon card. It's like, fuck off, man.
Yeah.
You have nothing to do with that card apart from the fact that you wanted the Pokemon banned from cards. That's ridiculous. Don't even try to attribute it to yourself. It was not any of your business. You just saw something and you were like, well, fuck that thing, and you did it.
Just Kadabra as well. It's not even Alakazam. It's like Alakazam. He's got more spoons. That's not me.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
another magician. He's got this other magician works with more spoons.
That's Uri Geller.
Yeah.
He's got 2 spoons. It's like, come on, man. Like, and the thing is he didn't get anything out of it, did he? Like, apart from getting them actually banned.
No.
He
Well,
never got any money from it. He never got any royalties. He never got anything. So what was the point?
don't know.
What was the point?
I think, if anything, it just would have been like a bit of promotion at very least.
Yeah,
Just like-
the only thing he promoted himself was people shitting on him and sending him rude emails. Obviously, because now he's given up. He's like, oh, well, clearly it's been 20 years. I'm not getting anything out of this.
I'd love to see some of the emails that get sent to him. That's just like kids or even adults like us who have been playing Pokemon for years. Like, it's like, come on, man, I just want my Kadabra card. Just allow it.
Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is now he's in his head, he's like, yes, I can gain some more traction if I release this now, right? And maybe people start to look into my things now that I'm back into whatever. But no, you're just going to be treated the same way. You're going to be treated as the dickhead that prevented a Pokemon from being printed on a card.
Oh, dear.
Because you were sad that he bent a spoon like you did. Hooray.
And his Japanese name was, it's very on the nose.
Meh.
Yeah. I'm not defending
It's just...
the magician.
No. Just... so stupid. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
So if you were going to ban a Pokemon card, Bryce, because Nintendo and Game Freak just copied your likeness so much, what do you think it would be? Actually, I'll pick for you and you pick for me. What do you reckon I should ban because they're copying my likeness too much?
Jesus. I don't know. Infernape. There you go.
All right.
You're loud like a monkey. You've got a fiery passion for things.
Could you imagine?
You could probably throw a punch.
Could you imagine sending an email to Nintendo saying, "Hey, you copied my likeness. I'm
an ape.
I'm an ape, and I've got a fiery passion." Thought, oh fuck! So they just don't stop printing Pokemon cards.
Oh god. All right, and me.
I reckon you would be Bronzely because you're so cute and heavy.
Wow. Good to know that my future is soon a widow.
Yeah, he's like, oh no.
Oh, Jesus.
That's you turn this sort of widow because you're on the man shake. That'll turn you into a little sort of widow.
Oh, God.
I love sort of widow. Was one of my favorite Pokemon.
It was also a pain in the ass when you didn't know what to do when you were like 5 years old playing Gold Silver Crystal.
Yeah, you just walk up to it and you spray some water on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when you're a kid, you're like, oh, this idiot's crying.
You know, I was stuck there for a couple of hours when I rented Pokemon Gold for the first time. I was there and I really wanted it too because I knew it was sort of widow. I'm like, oh, because it was doing like the thing where it's like, oh, this tree's a bit funny. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm sort of widow, cool. And sort of widow was one of my favorite Pokemon. When I actually got it, I did add it to my team for the first run through.
I think everybody did.
Yeah.
I don't think that was an uncommon thing for that game.
Yeah, you have your starter sort of widow.
Yeah.
Just keep rolling through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kadabra Pokemon cards, they're coming back. If you've got Kadabra Pokemon cards from like the first set or something,
They've probably got ridiculous value now.
yeah, check out the value.
Yeah.
I can't believe a lot of value of a lot of the cards just in general.
Actually, you know what? I was thinking about the other day, and we should totally do, for like a Twitch live stream special or something. We should go and order
One of the $100,000 original base sets.
No.
Open it up.
Not that far, but I'm kind of considering getting a shiny Max V box. So
Yeah, I would like to do it because I just love opening cards.
So do I. Yeah, so do I.
So I reckon we should too.
I think we should do that because it's like we would have to probably get on that train soon though before they stop making them though. Because do you know what they are? Those specific cards?
The shiny VMAX ones. Oh, vaguely.
So they made a box it's Japanese only, so they'd be Japanese cards, but they're 10 cards a booster pack, and they feature 1 VMAX every pack, and potential shiny Pokemon. Special cards.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I've seen them.
it's like I think it's like $160 box or something like that, and there's 100 cards in it. So we could just like split it, shuffle the cards, dosh out the packs, and then do a live stream. Yeah,
we're gonna be so salty when the other one gets something really nice. Though it's like, oh, brushy boy.
But I mean, that's the trade off.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah,
that's like what happened with And see, this is the thing. Pokemon cards have come back like in a big way.
Yeah, because Logan Paul
did that thing,
did the thing, and it just exploded.
It was a fake box, anyways.
I don't think his was. I think some other people from the same buyer got a fake box, which is obviously just resealed.
It was resealed, but they also think that Logan's is probably resealed too as a result.
Yeah, because that guy's so shady. If anybody looks into it, like the Pokemon card reseller who sold to Logan Paul, and I think the guys I'm talking about just before was a group called Dumb Money. They knew nothing about Pokemon cards.
But they wanted to buy one.
They wanted to buy one to make money.
And they got Leon Hart on to investigate the box. He's like, this is not legitimate.
Yeah.
He knew immediately. He's like, yeah, this is not legitimate. But since then, like heaps of people have been jumping on that train. A-Drive did one. The most recent one I remember is Pay Money Wubby did one. And Critical.
Hey guys, I'm Critical. I'm just going to open this box.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I'm here opening a Pokemon TCG card box. Let's do this shit. That Critical. He invested in a pack or two, like as everybody was, and he pulled a $16,000 Snorlax card out of his. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Even Isaac Butterfield, an Australian comedian, like in his background for his videos, like he does a lot of things where he pays out cyclists and vegans and just extremist groups, I guess. And so it's funny, but he's always had this like original Charizard in the background. I'm like, oh yeah, so he must be into Pokemon cards or whatever. And he just did a random video where he's just unboxing or undoing like the original Pokemon cards. I'm like, holy shit. So it's just like the craze is just going nuts with
mad.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I want to get like not for the clout so much, but I just like opening Pokemon cards and watching all these people open Pokemon cards, and I want to get one of those boxes, the shiny VMAX boxes.
Yeah, so it would have been like 5 years ago, I think, where I finally snapped and I spent like $200 on Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And I just went and opened them all. I'm like, cool, put them in the folders.
Yeah.
I don't think I looked at them since.
Yeah.
But it's just fun.
Yeah.
Fun to collect them. And the only problem with Pokemon cards is that, as a collector, they just never stop coming.
No, they don't. No.
So you're never you're never yes, I've got them.
Yeah.
It won't happen.
But that's kind of the reason I want one of these boxes, because they're sort of just like, they're one of a kind, never really ever going to get them again. And you're not going to get the same opportunity as, just buying another booster box sort of thing. Once they're gone, they're going to be extremely hard to find.
Yeah.
And they're worth, $160 a box. It'd just be nice to see what you get out of them, I think.
Would be. Oh, well.
Get a Rainbow Charizard and you'll pay for it. That's the thing, is like by the time you get all those cards and you unwrap them, you might be lucky enough to pay for 2 boxes off the 1 box. So,
yeah. Oh, it might be something we're looking into early next year. Do some Pokemon card stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so Bryce, let's move on. So, today actually, just before we recorded this podcast, Nintendo Switch is updated to firmware 11, so 11.0. So very exciting stuff, and it actually brought a fair few new features. So I'll read this article from Vooks.net, and then we'll talk about our very brief experience. I just sort of just showed you on my Switch and we're like, all right, cool. Some neat little features coming out. So the article reads, there hasn't been a firmware update in a while, but it looks like Nintendo has been cooking up something big. Version 11 of the firmware introduced today adds new icon to the home screen for Nintendo Switch Online and contains a number of features. This hub lets you see the latest Nintendo Switch Online information. There's a trending section so you can see what your friends are playing and more. You can also see all of your cloud saves. You can now also transfer videos and screens to your smartphone. You can now also connect your Switch via USB to get screenshots off that way as well. Been downloading a lot of things, but want one thing faster? You can prioritize download when having multiple downloads active. So seems like a very basic thing, but there we are. Mm-hmm. New user icons have been added. All 12 of them celebrate Mario's 35th year anniversary. And they basically go through like the original Mario Bros, Mario World, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, and all the way up to Mario Odyssey. So I reckon a lot of people on my friends list personally have been putting on the Mario 64 wing cap.
Of course.
And I kind of want to put that on as well. But I'm like, it's too...
I'll wait for the Zelda ones.
Yeah, it's too generic. But my icon hasn't changed since the Switch first came out, and I just put Breath of the Wild Link with the bow and arrow. It hasn't changed since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Continuing on, you'll be able to name your button mapping with presets as well. So if you play a game a certain way with different button mapping, you can switch between them easily. And that's pretty much the gist of things. But I think the biggest thing for me and maybe some other content creators or just people who like posting on social media and like doing it a little bit easier than just tapping away or using the controller on the actual Switch itself is just being able to transfer those screenshots and videos easily to your smart device. Like using the Xbox, it's really fantastic how when you take a screenshot, it uploads to the cloud and then you can just send it to Twitter or Facebook via the app and use the keyboard to actually type out your status. Now you can sort of do that on the Switch as well, which is handy to do. All you need to do is sort of scan a QR code and then it comes up onto your phone pretty easily. Yep. So yeah. And there's a trending tab as well, which is, I don't know how useful it is, but for me on the Switch, I don't do a lot of multiplayer. So I always just go on there and say, hey, what are people playing? And it's usually like the latest thing, as well as maybe some other Nintendo game or some indie games. But it's pretty cool to see when you go to the trending tab, you say like, oh, everyone's playing, at the moment, for example, Horror Warriors, and people recently getting into, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So just another thing to keep up to date with what your friends are doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Neat.
Do you reckon you'll use the transfer screenshot tool or trending tab or anything?
Yeah, that's the thing that's going to get used most is the screenshot tools.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Whereas everything else, I'm sort of like, thanks, but there's still no themes. So
yeah, that's the thing. So no themes, no folders, nothing to actually...
Thank the guys.
Not the things we're really looking for.
Honestly, thank you. You're so very intelligent. You really know what your fan base wants.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get themes or folders. I
don't think we will.
It's getting up to 4 years. They're taking their time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because now none of the consoles have themes. Like Xbox, the Xbox series of consoles, they don't have themes. You can sort of do like dynamic backgrounds on those consoles, but nothing theme-wise. PlayStation 5 got rid of themes. No themes on there. And Switch, it's just black or white.
I do like custom images on Xbox at least.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can choose your color and you can do like your pattern that's moving in the background at least.
You can do whatever the hell you want with it. It's like if you really wanted, I don't know, you could take something racy like porn and put it on there if you really wanted. It didn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's the freedom of choice.
Yeah,
it's a freedom of choice.
Yeah. It's just like you really want that on your TV when you're like, oh yeah, you want to play some Mario Kart? Yeah, sure.
I'm sure there's plenty of single people out there that absolutely love that. But my point is more or less is like I find fan art a lot better than official art, and I find a lot of joy in people's creativity and seeing it and all that stuff, and I think that's really neat to have on a background more than anything. Like if I'm even on my PC, I just prefer it over official artwork for what it's worth.
You just like to set a picture for your background and have it But yeah.
Yeah, I don't need anything more than that sort of thing. I do like that customizable sort of thing. And I mean, I did that with my 3DS when I hacked that around too. It was played with themes and stuff like that. And people have so many unique and cool ideas, and use these cool fan arts and stuff like that to create these things, and it looks incredibly neat. And I kind of wish we could do that more often rather than just plain. I mean, even the PlayStation themes, PlayStation 4 themes were pretty good as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a real confusing matter that they're not there.
Yeah. I mean, just with the PS5, they're just going for a simplistic approach to it, I guess, which is something, I guess.
Yeah, but the Persona themes are so nice.
Yeah. Well, on my PS4 Pro, which is still hooked up, I'm still rocking the Persona 5 one.
Yeah, so is Barry, and so am I. Yeah. They're good.
They are good. Yeah.
They're good themes. They come with nice music, nice icons, nice background that moves. It's good.
Oh, well, maybe it's going to be one of those dumb things where it's like, there's a new model of the Switch. It's got some more RAM to run that crap in the background. So then you'll get themes exclusive to that. Like, it will be like the Super Nintendo games all over again for new 3DS. Just you wait and watch.
They'll be like, here is the theme Pro feature. You need to add it onto your Nintendo Switch Online subscription for an extra $3 a month. It's like, cool. Thanks, guys.
The worst thing about it is, hey, sure, okay, I want a theme.
Yeah. You're just like, well, I suppose I'll buy into it. It is Nintendo.
I don't think I would. Anyway, so moving on, also an article from Vooks.net is Nintendo stopping uploads in the original Super Mario Maker at the end of March 2021. So Nintendo has announced that Super Mario Maker for the Wii U will be removed from sale, and some of its online functionality eventually shut down a couple of months after that.
Another thing people are very pissy about.
Okay, we'll talk about it after. I haven't heard anyone complain about it, but yeah, we'll talk about it after. Super Mario Maker will lose the ability to upload courses and its bookmarks service both in-game and online from March 31st, 2021 at 12 p.m. AEDT. The game will also be removed from the eShop on January 13th, 2021. You'll still be able to download and play previous uploaded levels, presumably including the 100 Mario Challenge, even after the upload capability is turned off. Here's what Nintendo says it's going away. The ability to upload courses in Super Mario Maker for Wii U, the Super Mario Maker bookmark feature website, updating and ranking liked courses, looking up your bookmarked courses. An error message will be displayed when trying to access these discontinued services at the end of their date. Super Mario Maker was released in September 2015. The 3DS version of the game doesn't have any online services and appears to be unaffected. So you said people were getting upset about this, Bryce, that the game that does have a current sequel at the moment is getting pretty much shut down. So what are people getting upset about?
Something you're very much forgetting when you say that, though, is that different versions of the game sort of exist, right? Like, you've got your 1.0, your sort of all that stuff and whatever. And the first thing that's going to happen with this is people are going to database it. They're going to make their own private little server for it, and you're going to be able to sort of mod it away that way, sort of thing, right?
Okay.
Mario Maker 1 and Mario Maker 2, while fundamentally the same game, work differently in how certain objects work, and like how that sort of rungs in on things. The biggest example, I suppose, is when they went from, I think it was version 1.1 to 1.2 of Mario Maker 2. They completely broke some courses by changing the physics of why things work. So in Mario Maker 1, some things are only achievable in Mario Maker 1 to make courses like that. And it's no longer possible in Mario Maker 2. So by taking the Mario Maker 1 service down and being unable to access these levels again, unless you get those people that are willing enough to database every single level and sort of bring it back or whatever and do whatever and, make a way for Mario Maker content, level creators, I suppose, to continue doing the work that they're doing on that original game with the physics that were intended. It's making people angry that they're not able to just do that in the same standard anymore. And, fair enough, yeah, the Wii U, we don't need to go on about how that's not a very successful console and that, this was inevitable, and it's inevitable with any game, but it is a huge portion of why Mario Maker even exists. I'm personally not upset, but I know why. I know you probably haven't heard a hell of a lot about it, but then again, just think about how many people actually own Wii U's and then reconsider the fact that that's probably why you haven't heard much about it.
Yeah, of course.
In comparison.
Of course, yeah.
So, there are people that are sort of complaining about it because they seem to think it ties in with all this tirade that, they're taking down the Melee tournament and like all that stuff, and just everybody's trying to find a reason for Nintendo to be the bad guy last couple of weeks. And I'm not saying that they aren't, there's definitely some very concerning and interesting choices coming out of them at the moment. But this thing was inevitable, and I don't really understand why people would be that incredibly upset about it, that a console that only sold like was it 8 to 12 million units. So
yeah, it sold 13 million,
13
roughly,
million units, yeah. The console only sold 13 million units, right? There's not a lot of people left back on Mario Maker 1, and there's a lot of people complaining just for the sake of its jump on Nintendo for the last 2 weeks. And to be completely honest, this kind of just makes it look farce.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're still enjoying Mario Maker 1, it does suck, but it's shutting down. But, at the very least, they probably did that community a favour by keeping the game going since 2015, like keeping it going that long as it is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's Switch has been out for a long time already. They could have killed it a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to pass and move on. I don't think there's much else you could do about it at this stage.
Start a petition.
I mean, you could try. It won't do much for you.
Yeah, because I know like a petition happened with Gravity Rush 2 on PS4. A lot of there's like some pretty basic online functionality, just with like doing challenges and swapping gifts with friends and that. Like, it's just pretty basic. Like, there's no trophies or there's nothing too much attached to it, but it was just a fun thing for the community to enjoy.
Yeah.
And PlayStation came out and said, a year afterwards, we're shutting down the online functionality, and the community actually got together and got PlayStation to actually extend that date for a little bit by about 6 months or so, just to, so the community has a bit more time to enjoy the feature before it goes away. Okay. So there are instances of games that don't have, huge legs, making a bit of a stand to get stuff extended. But a game that already has a sequel on the next platform, like, might be a bit hard for them. But yeah, anyone that's enjoying Mario Maker 1, you've got until March next year to enjoy it. So you got about 4 months to,
they've been calling it,
get in there. So you've got a fair bit leadway.
They've been calling it Doomsday, Mario Doomsday, March 31.
Yeah, well, it is. Like, they're setting it up to be like, holy shit, but that is going to be a pretty disappointing day when just all this stuff disappears.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they're trying to get us all to like buy it before it disappears, but it just seems it's just going to feel like a shit day as far as being a Nintendo fan goes. Like, all this stuff's going. Okay. All right, so moving on to a bit more of a success for Nintendo. This is also from Vooks.net. And the title is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is already the best selling Warriors game ever made. So the article reads, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is off to off to a flyer with more than 3 million copies of the games being shipped already. This news comes from Famitsu, who have confirmed that this includes both physical and digital versions of the game. That now means that Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is the best-selling Warriors game already outside of the other Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, and even the Dynasty Warriors games. So it's not too much of a surprise because it's like it's being positioned as a first-party Nintendo game when there's nothing else for the Switch coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So not too much of a surprise necessarily, but it's good for
it's really
developers.
Good for Koei.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they deserve like a fair bit more respect than they get sometimes. So it's definitely a kick up the butt, and that's good.
Yeah. So two of our copies are included in that 3 million. So we helped.
We did.
All right. So that was a quick one. So this is an article from gamesindustry.biz, and this is about a Super Nintendo World opening in February next year. So the article reads, Universal Studios Japan has announced it will open its Super Mario World attraction on February 4th, following its delay earlier this year. The area is built within Universal Studios Japan Park in Osaka and was due to open earlier this year in time for the summer 2020 Olympics. But the impact of the coronavirus pandemic led to the closure of all theme parks and delayed construction, pushing its debut back to spring 2021. That debut has now been nailed down as February 4th. However, Bloomberg notes that the launch could still be delayed again as Japan tackles another outbreak of COVID-19, and Osaka has been one of the worst affected cities. In a short video from inside the park itself, Bloomberg reporter Mori said there are still questions of how Universal Studios is going to prevent the spread of the virus. The new Nintendo area is said to be quite small, and the central ride, a Mario Kart roller coaster that utilizes AR headsets, which would presumably need to be sanitized. However, the core concept of Super Nintendo World revolves around visitors wearing wristbands that register the digital coins they collect by completing activities. The Nintendo area of the park is still not finished, with rumors of a Donkey Kong themed area still in the works. Universal Studios is hoping Super Nintendo World will be a big draw for visitors, given the impact of tourism to the tourism industry this year, plus the fact that it has invested more than 60 billion yen into its construction. So, yes.
Cool.
As far as bringing in tourism, it will bring me in one day.
Yeah, we've got to organise that one.
I don't think it will. I don't think they'll let us on February 4th.
No.
I don't think I'll let myself either
No.
to go to another country.
No, not yet. Not until a vaccine comes.
No. But one day it will bring us there. So it's cool that hopefully, coronavirus is under wraps. I doubt it will be completely, but it's cool to see that it will be opening finally. We've been talking about it on and off like throughout the year, like, here's a photo, here's happening, it's been delayed, here's that. So it'd be good if it actually has its opening early next year.
Yeah.
So this is from myNintendoNews.com, and the title is Pokemon's 25th anniversary logo revealed, and Fern's urged to stay tuned for more details about 2021 celebrations. So the Pokemon Company International has announced that news for the 25th anniversary for the franchise will be coming soon, by asking fans to stay tuned for more details on social media. No doubt next year will be a huge year for Pokemon, so it'll be interesting to see what they have in store for fans. We also got treated to a 25th anniversary logo, which you can see in the image, which is basically just what it was for the 20th anniversary.
But with 25 on the cheeks.
That was 25 on the cheeks, I guess. Yeah. So, very cool. Very much looking forward to this throughout the year as far as like Pokemon goes. It's been pretty quiet apart from the DLC and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and obviously we got some announcements with Pokemon Snap coming next year, as well as Pokemon Unite, which is a mobile game being developed by Tencent. So there's a lot to look forward to next year as far as probably mainline Pokemon games go. There's lots of rumors going around because the Pokemon community is like, this 25th year anniversary stuff. So rumors are just going rampant at the moment. But also in there is the talk of a sort of a Pokemon collection to celebrate this 25th anniversary as well, which would personally is what I would absolutely love to see.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of this just comes off the heels of obviously the 35th anniversary for Mario with the collection. So everything that has an anniversary, people are saying, "Oh, there's a collection, there's a collection." So I'd love it if there is, and there should be. There really should be.
Yellow Crystal and Emerald collection would be nice.
Oh, it would be. Yeah. A lot of the sort of talking is that it's like it's X, Y, Sun, Moon, maybe Alpha, Sapphire, Omega, Ruby. I'm not sure exactly what the games were included in there, but sort of the more 3D ones were included in there. I think Black and White might have been included in there too.
I think it's a bit hard to have those games on there without fully reworking them though, which is the bigger problem.
Yeah.
I mean, next year's going to be nuts. Realistically, we've got a Zelda anniversary, we've got a Pokemon anniversary, and there's
got a Metroid anniversary.
Yeah. There's a lot to live up to, like a lot.
Yeah. So how does Nintendo sort of handle it? Obviously, the Pokemon company, they already confirmed they have plans. They're teasing it. They're saying stay tuned. So we know they're going to handle that. Then Nintendo themselves with like Zelda, are they going to push Zelda next year? Is it going to be like a lead up with re-releases, like a new game before Breath of the Wild in the holiday season? Are we going to see something like that? Personally, I reckon that'd be great.
Love
get
to see
plenty
a
of Zelda.
collection.
Yeah, I'd love to just get like one of the classic Zelda games, because at the moment we've got Link's Awakening and we've got Breath of the Wild, but we don't have just like traditional dungeons. And it's been like a while since we've sort of been able to experience that without going back to say the Wii U.
I would kind of
The
love
3DS.
like just put me on this pedestal for a minute.
Oh, I always put you on a pedestal, mate.
Put me on this pedestal.
You're a
for
great
minute.
guy.
I would love to see it that like I would love to see them go back, and I would love to see them make like an Ocarina of Time remake.
Just do another one. Remake it again.
No. But like
No.
when I'm talking remake in this, I mean in the sense of like recreate Hyrule, from Ocarina of Time, but make it more space like Breath of the Wild, with all those niceties and stuff like that.
So a reimagining almost.
Yeah, like a reimagining almost. But still have your static storyline for Ocarina of Time, because obviously that was like one of the big things.
Yeah, so just like still have the story beats, but just make you walk a lot more to get there.
No, like by all means, being able to walk into Castletown and stuff like that, like really sort of push the prospects that in Breath of the Wild were not present. Like a big bustling castle town and all that stuff. And you've got just like the Kakariko village in that game it's always still and still has been very iconic. That is the basis of Kakariko Village for most people's thoughts, is when they think of Kakariko Village, they think of that. It'd be really cool to get different perspectives on different dungeons that had a lot more of a nuance back in the day and were a lot harder to read, like the Forest Temple and the Water Temple. See them redo them to make them, sort of more fitting. Forest Temple especially, I feel like they could do something like really awesome with that, because that whole dungeon was basically, this is trippy. There's like rotating hallways and all that stuff. Like it would be really cool to see what they could do with that. Like instead of like just the twisty hallways, like it's twisty hallways, but as it's twisting, your perspective of Link, like Link is eventually just like walking on the ceiling and around, like in that spiral, rather than just the room moving around Link as it does in Ocarina of Time. Just stuff like that I think would be like really cool, is doing something like that. I would love a collection like they did with Mario, but I think like something like that could be really dope too.
It'd be cool for a collection, but I just wonder, like those games, like I would say they're like a fair bit bigger than the Mario games, so like they'd probably be able to justify actually like just piecemealing them out for full price.
Yeah.
So
Don't want them to do that though.
we'll see. Anyway, we'll be discussing this early next year, I dare say. Anyway, so I've got plenty of time to speculate and sort of talk about stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
So just moving back to the Pokemon stuff, this is an article from Nintendo Enthusiast, and they're actually a die-cast Pokeball replica series is going to launch early next year. And the article from Nintendo Enthusiast reads, admit it, you're fantasized about having a real-life... fantasized about being a real-life Pokemon trainer. The games can only do so much to indulge you in that first adventure. Luckily, the Pokemon Company International and the Wand Company have something in mind to help gamers get a real taste of Poke life. And they came in the form of a die-cast Pokeball regular series. For about $133 American, customers can nag a Pokeball in the following variants: Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, and Premier Ball. The base version will launch on Pokemon Day, which is February 27th, 2021. The other forms will release throughout the rest of the year. But be forewarned, these balls cannot be thrown and they do not open up. This is a kind of defeats the purpose of getting one if you're trying to live out your trainer fantasies, but they are impressive models if you're just looking to collect. At least the balls glow and have a proximity sensing technology. If you're interested in pre-ordering one of these bad boys, you can do so through various retailers. Please note that ordering from Zavi will net you a free t-shirt. So looking at the video that's announcing this, it comes in a really nice package. It looks like maybe something Professor Oak would have in his laboratory, and he opens it up. And what the packaging actually does, Bryce. So I'll show you a picture of the packaging there, Bryce. And if you guys want to check out the video, I'll leave it in the show notes if you have time to click on the link and have a look at it. But basically, as you're opening up the box, the Pokeball actually rises up, and like the base glows as well as the actual button on the Pokeball.
That's cool.
So I guess if you're a big Pokemon fan like myself, when you look at this, you're like, this is as real as a Pokeball's going to look, with just like how it glows and I guess maybe the weight and just the quality of the paint and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to maybe get one. I'm not sure how easy it will be to get here in Australia.
Let's be real. You'll get a Premier Ball.
Oh, see, I was going to say I'm a big fan of Premier Balls. I love a Premier Ball. But yeah, we'll see how we go. They're going to be expensive.
Yeah.
By the time I get it here, it's going to be like a $200 Pokeball in Australia.
Well, at least you can live out your fantasies of it having cost 200 Pokey.
Only if it costs that much. It'll be a lot easier. I'll just go and get some nuggets in Sword and Shield and I'll have it. So yeah, that's something I could potentially waste my money on next year, but probably won't.
So.
Yeah, we'll see. And this is another little interesting story from My Nintendo News, and it's Nintendo UK support apparently said the Switch dock is now discontinued. So I just bring this up because this sort of leads on to potential plans for hardware next year. But I'll continue on and read the article. So it reads, the Nintendo Switch dock has apparently been out of stock for quite a while in the United Kingdom, and today a Reddit user reached out to the company to find out when it will be available again. The user received a response from Nintendo official UK store, who told him that Nintendo Switch dock has now been discontinued. This is clearly a strange decision by Nintendo, but it could further hint to a rumor that the company is planning on an updated Switch for early 2021. So the email that is written, Nintendo replies back, "Thank you for contacting us and placing an inquiry. A member of our Nintendo customer support team has looked into your inquiry and added a response. For your records, your original query was, when will the Nintendo Switch set be available for purchase again? The product has been out of stock for some time in the UK, whereas in the US, Japan, and Europe, it's been available since the product's release. Can the dock be available once again? It's important for us users who want to be able to have a Switch dock in every room that has a TV, a dock for traveling, or just as backup. After further investigation, we can confirm the following. Thanks for getting in contact with Nintendo. I'm really sorry, but we have discontinued the Nintendo Switch dock set in the UK. Therefore, our UK store will no longer keep this on our site. I apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. So it's just whether people in the UK are just not interested in getting a second dock, or this is like plans that Nintendo have put in place because this is going to be redundant, in 4, 6, 8 months, because there is going to be a new Switch model that is a different size and will have a different dock. Whether this is happening sort of in the US and the Australian and all that side of things. I went to EB Games the other day and like they did have a handful of docks still. Obviously no idea when, how many people are buying them and how much they're getting their stock refilled and that. But, I think I say like nearly every week, but I really do think we're getting a new Switch model sooner than later. Will be next year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of putting my money on like the first half of next year. So, I guess that's my bias just coming into this story already, being like, oh yeah, they're getting ready for it. But what do you sort of see when you hear this sort of news coming out of a Reddit?
I mean, it's difficult because I'm not too sure. Like, I personally don't see any reason for them to discontinue original Switch docks, regardless of whether the new models that are coming out will be, just a pro version.
Yeah.
And that's where that sort of catches me off guard, because I'm kind of sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, does that mean it's a pro version, or does it mean it's a new model, like a full on generational upgrade type of thing?
Yeah, because like ideally, I would like it to work with the 2 docks I already have, because I have to buy a new Switch and also another dock to use it in my office area here. So hopefully it just won't be like the Switch Lite, where obviously the Switch Lite doesn't work anyway, but if you put a Switch Lite in a normal dock, it just doesn't fit because of its size. Whether it would be like a similar situation where the new Switch is just physically too different or whatever to actually fit in that dock, I don't know. But yeah, like you sort of said, even if there is a new Switch model coming, like people who own the current Switch still might want a second dock.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So discontinue is weird. So I think
or even for a replacement dock, for that matter.
Yeah, if you're busted or something, yeah. So I think honestly, it probably just comes from they're not selling that much on the UK store. Whether people are going to Game or whatever retailer people in the UK are buying their Switch accessories from, and just not going to the UK official Nintendo store. So that's probably more of it, I would say. But
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't see them removing it for that specific reason, unless it were, a full-on generational upgrade where the dock is going to be a requirement to play the next generation, and they're trying to phase out the old Switch. Yeah, I think that's like the only thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it could happen. I mean, they kind of did with the new 3DS anyway. They say it's still at the same proprietary charger though. Correct?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I do think it is probably just what you said, and people aren't buying it from the UK online store.
Yeah, I think it's that too. But I would like to think that we're getting a new Switch model soon.
I think we all want to. But yeah.
We all want to. Oh, not necessarily. We've had a couple of people in our Discord being like, I hope not, because I don't want to upgrade.
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I want something nicer.
And to end the news on, Doom Eternal has finally got a release date on Nintendo Switch, and it's coming out on December 8th, so very soon, only next week. And it's only going to be digitally, and on the Australian shop, it's going to be $80. So, the price of a brand new game, which is always harder to swallow when we don't have release dates aligned with other consoles. Obviously, if you want Doom Eternal on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you can get it for about $50 or $30, very cheap.
It's on Game Pass.
I'm currently downloading it on Game Pass. Yeah. So, I'm very interested just to see the Digital Foundry sort of comparisons and how this thing is running on Switch, just for how taxing a game it is, just for even Xbox One X and all that. It is it's a very pretty high fluidity game. So see how it goes on Switch. Very much a thing of if you're interested, maybe check out reviews and some gameplay before putting a big wad of cash down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Ross. Let's move on to our new segment, which is the House of Mario's Red Coin recommendations. We've got a few sale items to go through, so let's get into it. Oh, wrong button. All right, bro. So I went through sort of the list of games this week, and there's not a lot that sort of reached out to me. So I did have a look to see if there's any like silly, dumb games to read out, and I couldn't really even find any of them. They're just sort of like whatever. But there are some big sales on that are going to end on the 3rd of December, so you've only got a couple of days once you listen to this to get into these details.
Not even. If it goes up tomorrow, you've got a day.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm pretty much just going to recommend just the big hitters, which are the Nintendo first-party games. So Nintendo have 33% off all of their... Well, not all of their games, but these games at the moment. So you can get Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for $53.30, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for $60, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for $53, Astral Chain for $53, Fire Emblem Three Houses $53, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for $53. Now, the only one I don't own on the Switch is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, but I currently have far too much to play at the moment, so I won't be buying that again.
I am the same.
Yes. Now, it would be nice if they put Pikmin 3 or something I didn't have on sale, but that just came out.
That's
so
right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So that's the House of Mario's Red Coin recommendations for this week. There's I think there's literally a million other things on sale, like literally a million. You'll be scrolling and loading forever just going through the list. But I do recommend going to vooks.net and checking out their list they compiled for all the sales on at the moment. I'll leave that in the show notes. So yeah, that's the House of Mario's Red Coin recommendations for this week, Bryce.
Beautiful.
So just had an hour, Bryce. Do you want to talk about anything else, or should we move on with our day? Well, let the listeners move on with their day. But all right, we've had enough of you babbling, boys.
I can't think of anything to talk about with poor Reggie.
No, Reggie.
Poor Reggie.
He tried to interrupt the Red Coin recommendations there, but
I mean, he probably still...
We shut the door straight away. Like, no, get it away. Get out of here.
What happens if we slowly open the door?
Oh, let's have a look.
Hi, Nintendo fans. Reggie here.
Reggie, go back.
All right.
We'll end it there, Bryce.
Yep. I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah. Though being said, Age of Calamity. Before we go, how much have you played?
Not much. Not enough to talk about it.
You need to play more. I also haven't played a hell of a lot either, and I'm not at the end yet either. But yeah, that is something we need to discuss.
It's been pretty full on with work, and I had a mate's wedding this weekend.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah,
it's very busy.
Yeah, my friend's wedding pretty much had to. All the groomsmen and everything were like pretty much setting it up and packing it up and all that. So that's what took up my week.
Did you social distance, mate?
Oh, kind of. No, we did. Like we had there was restrictions on how many people could be inside and how many people could be here, and it's the world we live in at the moment. So you can't avoid it even if you don't want to.
No. Oh well.
Yeah. Anyway. Thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 170. If you enjoyed the show, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and you can follow us on Twitter to keep up with the goings-on of the show. You can follow me at iDruby, you can follow Bryce at IVRevan, and you can follow the show at the House of Mario. You can join our Discord community to be a part of just be a part of it. Get amongst it.
Be a part of it all.
Enjoy it. And I'd like to thank our Patreon producers, Luke, Sam Hay, and DJ. Thank you guys very much for joining us there on Patreon.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people. Love all of you.
So this week, Nintendo Jukebox is a waterfall by Hyper Potions.
Oh.
I do enjoy myself some Hyper Potions.
I do enjoy myself some waterfalls.
You like some waterfalls, too, bro?
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Do
you like having a picnic in front of your waterfall?
Waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to.
All right, Sam.
It is time to go, and we'll see you next week. But you better not go too fast.